Hey guys, today I'm going to be recreating one of my most viral hairstyles. I posted it on TikTok back in December and now it has over 1 million views and it's my second most viewed and second most liked video on TikTok. And yeah, so I'll put the TikTok. Gotta voice over this so I don't get copywritten, but you can see it does have a whole bunch of views and likes, especially compared to my other posts. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite styles. When I got this blonde wig, I knew I needed to recreate it on her. And I also thought it'd be a great opportunity to share the tutorial with you guys because I obviously got a lot of requests to do a tutorial and explain how I did it. And it's a really great hairstyle, especially for beginners, because it uses lots of different techniques that are fairly simple, might take a little bit of practice and a little bit of time, but it does give you the opportunity to practice a lot of different things. Plus, it's just a really pretty hairstyle that's worth taking the time to learn. So yeah, let's just get on to the tutorial. Alrighty, so we want a lot of texture in this hairstyle, so the first thing I do is create a ponytail, mostly at the back of the head. I leave probably like 3-ish inches of hair out on either side of the face in the front, because we'll use those in a second, and then I tie it into a ponytail, and then I stick my fingers through the top of that ponytail, and then flip the ponytail through the middle. Then I went ahead and tightened it a little bit so that that little gap was almost non-existent, and then I fluffed out the little twisted parts on either side, and then gently pulled at the top to create a little more texture and volume at the top of the hairstyle. I don't pull too tightly at the top because I don't want it to get too puffy because there's not much reversing that, but once I have it looking the way I want, it's time to get started on the second part of this hairstyle, which is a lace rope braid. A lace braid means that you're adding in hair only to one side of the hair of the braid, and for this one we're adding it in to the bottom. So the bottom strand picks up a new piece of hair and then wraps over the top. And then we fluff it out really big, so we add a piece of hair to the bottom section and then bring the bottom section over the top section all the way down. And again, every just a few stitches, I go back and fluff it out because we want these really big, voluminous, textured rope braids. Once I get to where the braid meets the ponytail, I braid down a little further and then clipped it off, and then I repeated that on the other side. So again, just a lace rope braid, adding in hair only to the bottom section and braiding that all the way back, going back every few stitches to pull it out and make it a big fluffy braid. Once the two of these braids are both completely done, again, I left some allowance just so that as I tie it off, like it won't get messed up. And then I tighten it so that the two ponytails are basically like right next to each other. And then it's time for a fun braid. This is a 5-strand ribbon braid. So I start by cutting a piece of cord to double the length of the hair, but when it's folded in half, it is the length of the hair. And then I clip that to the opposite side of the part line. Then I'm going to go ahead and split my actual chunk of hair into 3 sections, 2 sections on one side of the cord, 1 section on the other. I start with the side with 2 strands of hair. I bring it under the first strand, goes under the second strand, then over and under the cord. And the same thing on the other. It goes under the first strand, then over and under the cord. And then I just continue that pattern all the way back. Again, this is also a lace braid, so we don't add any hair to the top section, but we do add a strand of new hair to the bottom section every time. Normally when I do braids like this, I add it only to the top section, but we're trying to push that braid as close to our rope braid as possible because we want all 3 of these hairstyles, the twisted ponytail, the rope braid, and the 5-strand ribbon braid, to be like right on top of each other. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it as close to that rope braid as possible, and when we pull it out, it'll be even closer. So yeah, under the first strand of hair, over the first strand of cord, under the second strand of cord, and so on. I kind of like to think of it as just a regular 3-strand braid, except the middle strand gets wrapped with the 2 strands of cord every time it goes to the middle, if that makes some amount of sense. With a little bit of practice, y'all will get it. It's really not too difficult of a braid, but that being said, if you don't get it the first try, that's totally fine. Once I get 3 or 4 stitches in, I go ahead and unclip that cord and pull tightly on either of the strings so that the loop disappears and the cord is securely in there. Then I start going back every maybe 4 or 5 stitches and fluffing out that braid to make it big and voluminous. And I continue that 5-strand braid, adding in hair to just one section, one side every single time, all the way until I get to the actual ponytail. Again, I always like to braid these a little extra long so that I have a little bit of an allowance for when I go back and tie into the ponytail in case I need to tighten the ponytail, loosen the ponytail, whatever. I won't have to like go back as far, if that makes sense. I always, basically once I finish the lace braiding, adding in hair, I braid down maybe 4 or 5 stitches just so that I have an extra allowance. Especially because for this one, we want to start with the ponytail kind of loose and we're going to twist it into a little loop. And then we're going to pull our 2 previous ponytails from that twisted ponytail and that rope braided ponytail through the middle of this. This kind of just creates a very clean look so that it looks like everything's wrapped by the braids, because it is. And that way you don't have to worry about wrapping your elastic and it doesn't all look like stacked. Instead, it looks more like coherent and all kind of blended together. I don't know if any of those words are the right words to use, but I feel like y'all kind of get it, maybe. And then we're gonna do a bubble fishtail braid. I really like these hairstyles because it's really good for thin hair. That's why I originally did it on the wig that I did on the first time, because she has thinner hair. But this hairstyle can be very voluminous no matter the thickness of the hair. So I did split that big ponytail from all the things that we did at the top into 2, and I clipped it behind so that I wouldn't accidentally pick up the hair. That way I don't have a ginormous section to work with and it doesn't get like out of hand. So I'm gonna do a regular fishtail braid. So I'm gonna bring a small section from the left section over to the right section, and then a small section from the right section over to the left section, and continuing that back and forth. The smaller the pieces, the smaller the stitches are going to be. The bigger they are, the bigger they're going to be. So you're going to get a more fine-defined look if you do really small ones, but you can also get it done faster and have a chunkier look if you do it with bigger sections. Anyway, I again braided it probably a good inch or so further down than I needed to, because when I go and fluff it out, it's going to make it a little bit shorter, and then we're also going to tighten it. So I fluff it out, especially paying extra close attention to the middle, and then I tighten it, which kind of, puffs it out even a little bit more. And yeah, I just continually adjusted it until I got it to the way that I wanted it to look. And then I went ahead and took a small piece of cord, that same kind of cord that we put on the braids earlier, and I went ahead and just wrapped the elastic with that a few times until it was completely covered. And then I just repeated that. I ended up doing 3 of these fishtail bubbles, but you can do as many as you want. I just feel like 3 is a good stack. I like how that looks. And then it's time for an easy braid. We're just going to do a regular 3-strand braid, except one of the strands of hair is going to be replaced by a strand of cord. So we're going to take a strand of cord, twice the length of the hair, but we're going to fold it in half so it's the length of the hair. And then I went ahead and just bobby pinned it underneath the braid and did a regular 3-strand braid. Just one of the strands being the cord. And then, like every other stitch, I went on the side, like switched back and forth from the left side and the right side of the braid and pulled out one of the stitches just to create more texture in that braid so that it's just more dimensional. I love these braids because I feel like it keeps the sides from looking boring. So I just went ahead and threw 4 of these in total, 2 on each side. And then, of course, it's time for the fun part, just to throw in our star and moon pins wherever we see they're needed. And yeah, you can just do that part however you want. You could even replace the pins with something else. But yeah, this is the final result. I'm obsessed. Let me know what y'all think. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, here's one more look at her. I am absolutely obsessed, of course. She's so pretty. I think it's really neat how the same hairstyle can look so different on different colored hair. I mean, obviously it looks very similar because it's the same hairstyle, but it still does look pretty different from the purple one versus the blonde one. I don't know. I hope everything that I explained made sense. If it didn't, please ask questions in the comments. Also, let me know in the comments what kind of videos y'all want to see more of. I plan on making like 2 videos a week if I have the time, like maybe one for hairstyles to do on yourself and then one for hairstyles to do on wigs. But I also might be posting more since I'm like really inspired and motivated right now. But yeah, just let me know what y'all are more interested in. Do you want to see a little bit of both hairstyles to do on yourself and hairstyles that are more intricate to do on other people? Do you want to see more of one or the other? Do you want to see more like challenge type videos or something? I don't know. I've got a few ideas, but if y'all have any ideas, I would love to hear them. And I just love reading all of y'all's comments. So yeah, and also if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Those just make me really happy, and it also helps me see, y'all liking it shows me that it's a good video or not. So if you do like the video, click the button. Yeah, but thank you guys so much. Also, thank you guys for 3,000, because I hit 2,000 on Saturday, and now it's Tuesday and I hit 3,000, which is crazy. I really do appreciate you guys. I am blown away by how fast the numbers are growing. And yeah, have fun braiding. Bye.